Hey y'all, welcome to the Crafty Cove. My name's Missy. Y'all know here we like to do farmhouse decor on a Dollar Tree budget. And today I'm excited to bring you my very first compilation video. And this is going to be all of my favorite farmhouse fall DIYs. There will be some old, some new, and some in between. So I hope y'all enjoy. So this is one of my projects from last year. And for this I'm going to use 3 of the pumpkin signs from the Dollar Tree and some vinyl that I got from Michael's. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove all the hardware, of course, like all the raffia and all of the jute on there. And then on one of these that says thankful and blessed, I do go ahead and remove the sunflower cutout that is on that one also. Next, we are going to flip the ones over that we are going to put buffalo check on. So that's 2 of those. We're just going to peel off our buffalo check vinyl. Now Dollar Tree has buffalo check vinyl, and I would totally use the buffalo check if I was doing this again. But again, this is an older DIY, and they didn't have it then, and this is what I got from Michael's. So I'm just going to cover this first pumpkin with the buffalo check vinyl, and then we are just going to cut it down, cut all around the sides, and get that all cut to the way it needs to be. Now, at the end, I do use brown craft paper to cover the backs of all these, but I don't show you that, so I just want to let you all know that I do that. So now we're going to take the other pumpkin. We're going to cut our vinyl down just a little bit because I'll be honest with y'all, this vinyl was a lot more expensive than what the Dollar Tree was. So I went ahead and cut it down so I wouldn't waste any, but we're going to do the exact same thing. Just going to go ahead and cover this pumpkin again with the buffalo check vinyl, exactly like we did the first one. After we've got that on there, I'm going to take one of the pumpkins that are covered in buffalo check and paint our stem. I couldn't find any brown craft paint when I did this, and so I just went ahead and did this stem with some black acrylic paint. And now we're going to start putting our 3 pumpkins together. So the one that said thankful and blessed, I just left the exact way it was. I thought it was beautiful. I love the design of it, so I just left that one the way it was. And here I'm just marking so that I kind of know where I need my glue to go so that I don't get way too much glue on this, which you all know I'm very guilty of. And then I'm just using some Gorilla Glue, the gel, and then some hot glue. And what we're going to do is we are going to glue this one onto the bottom of one of our buffalo check pumpkins. I hope that makes sense. Y'all can see here what I'm doing. So we're just going to glue that right on there. Then we're going to go ahead and glue our last pumpkin on. And the first one we did with the stem showing, this one we're going to have the stem behind. So again, I'm just marking exactly where I want my glue so that I don't mess up and put way too much glue on there, just trying to get it all so that it's fairly even. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to use our Gorilla Gel Glue and our hot glue. You can see there I still hadn't covered it with the brown craft paper yet, but I was just trying to get it all finished so I would only have to use one, glue at one time with that. So we're getting that glued on there just like that. Again, just trying to make sure we get it in the place that we want it. And then I just go ahead and make a simple messy bow, and we're going to glue that right to the end of the stem of the top pumpkin. Just fluff that bow up. And then I do take the raffia bows that came on those pumpkins and I go ahead and cover up the holes on that middle pumpkin just so we don't have any holes there, and it looks more complete. And that's it. I think this turned out super, super cute. It's one of my favorite fall projects ever. I love it. What do y'all think? Okay, y'all, on to DIY number 2, which is another one from last year. One of my favorites. I love this one also. And we're going to take 4 of these galvanized trees that they had. And I want to say I've seen these out this year also. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure I have. What I'm going to do is on 3 of them, I'm going to tape off the trunk there. And I'm going to paint 3 of them with 2 good coats of a burnt orange acrylic paint that I got. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it. But it takes 2 good coats because y'all know metal and paint do not mix very well. So after we get the 2 good coats of the burnt orange, Now we're going to take the tape off of our trunks, and we're going to go ahead and paint our trunks with just a brown acrylic paint. And this takes 3 good coats because this was a thinner paint for some reason, and it just took 3 coats. Now we're going to take that same brown acrylic paint and just kind of dry brush along our trees just to give them a little bit of dimension. And I just do that by dipping my brush into the paint and then dabbing it off on my little pad there and just going all the way through. You can't really tell it right now on the video, but in real life you can really see it and it looks really good. Okay, on our 4th tree, we're going to go ahead and paint the trunk with 3 good coats. And then we're going to Mod Podge some leaf scrapbook paper on there. This I believe I got from Hobby Lobby, and we just get that on there and then cut it out all along the edges to get it as close as we can. And then we're going to go ahead and Mod Podge over this and all of the other trees, so that if our other trees, you know, they won't chip, the paint won't chip off, because we all know that that can happen with metal things that are painted. So we're going to Mod Podge over all of them. Then on our one with scrapbook paper, we're just going to sand off all the edges going in a downward motion. Well, it looks like an upward motion, but y'all know how to do that. Then I just went ahead and made a decal that says FALL for fall. I put those on the F, the L, and the L on the orange trees and the A on the leaf tree. And then what we're going to start doing is we're just going to glue these all together. And all I used on this was hot glue. I just put a little hot glue on the side of one of the bases and glue it right to the other base. And we do that all the way down to the end. That way we have all 4 of them glued together. Such a simple project, but I love it. I really think this one turned out really cute. And this one will definitely be on display again in my home this year. I hope y'all enjoyed this one. Okay, y'all, it's time for another giveaway. I have a few telling me, oh, you're doing too many giveaways, but I just want to give back to all of my subscribers who mean so much to me and who have made this journey so worthwhile. So we're going to give away another $20 gift card from the Dollar Tree, and all I want to know is, what's your favorite season? Mine is winter, but really fall is growing on me, y'all. And the winner will be announced Friday, August 26th at 5 p.m. during our video. Don't forget to leave your answer down in the comments below. Okay, DIY number 3 is a newer DIY. We've all seen YouTubers do these, but this is my take. I did not realize that you could see my face in these platters, so forgive me. But I'm going to take and paint all 3 of these platters with 3 good coats of Waverly chalk paint and plaster. And I'm doing 3 coats because we're painting on metal and it makes it a little harder. Then we're going to take some Waverly wax and we are just going to paint that on there in antique. Paint that on there and then rub it off with our paper towel. And we do this on all 3 of the plates. Next, we are going to take these little stems that I get from the Dollar Tree. And we're going to glue a bigger one in the middle here. And then 1 stem on each of the other platters. You can see my blessed sign there. You'll see what we do with that in just a minute. I was just trying to figure out my layout. And here we are putting our last stem on our last pumpkin. Now, pumpkin, yeah, that's what these are going to be, pumpkins. So now we are just going to go ahead and put some hot glue right there in the middle, and we're going to glue our pumpkins together. We're going to take some raffia, and all I've done is tied them into knots, and I put 1 on the middle and then 1 on each of the side ones. And I do the side ones kind of at an angle here. Again, we've seen these done a million times, but this is just my take on it. Next, I'm going to take these new leather words from the Dollar Tree. I picked the one that said blessed. We're going to glue that right in the middle of our middle pumpkin. And then we're going to end up taking, first I go ahead and make 3 more little knots and cut them down out of buffalo check ribbon. And we just glue those right onto the knots of raffia here. Does that make sense, y'all? Sorry. Y'all know how I am when it comes to voiceovers. So again, just making 3 knots. Sometimes I like the knots even better than the bows. I think it just gives a more simplistic look. After we get that finished, we're going to take these little hanging tags from the Dollar Tree that are leather. One says thankful and the other says grateful. And we're just going to hang those from the other 2 pumpkins. And that is it. the entire video. So I got this little candlestick, and I cannot remember if I got it from Hobby Lobby or Michael's, or if I got it from a little local craft store that they have here where I'm at. So, but I'm pretty sure it was Hobby Lobby. A little wood slice and 3 pumpkins from the Dollar Tree. You want to make sure that at least 2 of your pumpkins have holes in the bottom. They all 3 can have holes, but at least 2 need to. We're going to take off the sticker of our first pumpkin, and we are going to paint it, you guessed it, that same green color. I wanted all these to kind of tie in together, so that's why, but they're not all going to be green, y'all. So I go ahead and I get this completely painted. I go ahead and do the bottom. I don't worry about the stem. That stem is going to be covered up. It's actually going to be covered up on 2 of the pumpkins. You're only going to see it on the top pumpkin. We are making a pumpkin topiary again, this time using the ceramic pumpkins. This second pumpkin is already white, but I'm going to use that sheepskin, and we're going to go ahead and paint it up with the sheepskin. And this one has some leaves that are like engraved in it. I don't know how to explain it, but we're going to do something with that in just a little while. Next, let's see what we do next, because I don't even remember. Oh, we're just continuing to paint this. Now we're going to go on to that orange pumpkin, and this is where I mixed some pumpkin and some of that Arteza paint and made this, like, I don't know, muted orange color. This pumpkin did need 2 good coats only because of the material. It's almost like a glass material, and it was very shiny, so I did have to do 2 good coats on this pumpkin here. Now we're going back to that white pumpkin. We're going to take some of our Waverly wax and paint it on. Now, where those leaves are at, you definitely want to try to get down in there. So I just pounce it, and you can see once you wipe that wax away, it's leaving that wax down in the little indents of the leaves. And I think this turned out so adorable. I absolutely love this look. And we're going to go all the way around this pumpkin, because I think it's got like 3 or 4, I think it's 4 of those leaves. Again, just paint it on, wipe it off. Now we're going to take some more of that brown wax, and we are going to do this. I don't show the orange one, but we do this to the green and the orange pumpkin. Just paint it on and wipe it off. Just gives a little more dimension to all of our pumpkins. Now, while all those are drying, we're going to take our candlestick, more Waverly wax, and a baby wipe. We're just going to wipe it on and wipe it off. I do kind of pounce a little bit on this just to get some more of that wax in there, and then I just wipe it right back off with another baby wipe. We don't do anything to the wood slice. We're leaving it as it is. Now we're going to attach our candlestick to our wood slice, yes. Right now I'm just trying to figure everything out. I just used some of this Fix-All adhesive from the Dollar Tree and some hot glue. Y'all, I love this stuff. I myself think it's as good as E6000. Comes out of the tube better and everything, and it's $1. So now we are going to start assembling our little topiary. And before I start that, I want to go ahead and take some of this reindeer moss, and we are going to hot glue it right on the edge here. We do go through, and I'll show you in a little while, we do some reindeer moss between each pumpkin, but to start with, I just wanted to get this first, because it's hard to get reindeer moss on that bottom after you get that pumpkin in there. So that was a lot to say. And then we're going to take our Fix-All adhesive and our hot glue, and we are going to adhere our pumpkin. Because this one has a flat base, it made it so much easier. Next, we're going to take our white pumpkin, more of that Fix-All adhesive, more hot glue, and we are going to stick that right on top of the green one. Same exact thing for our orange one, y'all. We're going to go ahead, more of that glue, more of the hot glue, and that's why you want the holes. And you can't see it, but I do go in and paint my stem on that top pumpkin brown. Now we're just taking more of the reindeer moss, some hot glue, and just going between each and every pumpkin and putting some of that moss in there just to give it more of a finished look other than just the pumpkins being glued on top of each other. I think this turned out super, super cute, and like I said, this I do believe is one of my favorite projects in this video. Y'all let me know down below what you think and which is your favorite project. So here's the topiary all finished. I love how that wax sits in the grooves of those leaves. Super simple. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago I went to the Goodwill and I found this huge black bag full of these blocks. I had no idea what they were, but I knew they were wood and I knew I could use them in crafting. Come to find out, they are a giant Jenga game, but I'm using them for crafting. So for this project, I'm going to take 6. 2 of these I'm going to paint with a burnt orange all over, front, back, sides, ends. Every single bit of these 2 blocks get covered in burnt orange. This color I got at the Hobby Lobby. The next 2 wood blocks, same exact thing with some white Waverly chalk paint, fronts, back, sides, ends, everything. And then I am using it's a brown color. I believe this is like a caramel or something like that. I can't remember the name. I'll try to find it and put it in the bottom. Then I'm going to take some decals that I made on my Cricut, and we're just going to put pumpkins on one orange one, falling leaves on a white one, and I missed the brown one for this one, but I think it was apple cider on one of the brown ones. Then on the others, I'm going to put thankful on an orange. So simple, y'all. Grateful on the white. And blessed on the brown. Now we've got 2 sets of stacks. I'm going to take blocks. I'm going to take some liquid nails and some hot glue, and we are going to glue the brown will be on the bottom, then the white, and then the same exact thing, put the liquid nails, the hot glue, and glue the orange on. We do this to both sets of stacks, or both sets of the blocks. And this is what they look like. Now we're going to glue them together with some more liquid nails and some hot glue. I'm making a faux book stack if you haven't guessed yet. After we get those secured together, we're going to take some twine and I'm just going to start wrapping it. Now I do have to do it kind of at an angle because I didn't put the words on the exact sides. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. But I just wrap my twine all the way around it and then secure it again with some more hot glue. This was the simplest project, but I think it turned out so high-end looking. I absolutely love this project. So after we get our twine on, I'm going to take some of these buffalo plaid leaves that I got, leaf cutouts that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to glue one on each side. Next, I'm going to just make 2 bows with the same ribbon, some of the same ribbon that I used in the first project because I kind of want them all to be a little cohesive and go together. So I basically just fold the ribbon over on itself, tie it in the middle, and then dovetail the tails. I do that 2 times with 2 different ribbons. I'm sorry, y'all. This voiceover is just not going well for me tonight. Then I'm going to attach each one bow on each side. On the thankful, grateful, blessed, I attach this little plaid looking one, and on the other side I attach the leaves. Next, I take a little green truck hanger that I found at the Dollar Tree, and I just cut off the little hanger and glue it right there. How simple was that? I think this gives such a high-end look. Y'all let me know in the comments which of these is your favorite project, but I'm absolutely in love with these faux stacked books. They are so adorable. And I love the fact that they are reversible. So for this project, we're taking a crate, a rectangle that you can either get at Dollar Tree or Walmart, the centerpiece of a Dollar Tree picture frame, and a dowel rod cut to about 10 inches for 2 pieces. I'm sorry, 8 inches for 2 pieces. we're going to take our little rectangle there and paint it completely with white Waverly chalk paint, and then take our antique wax and we're going to paint on our antique wax on the dowel rods and then wipe them off with a paper towel. After we get those two things done, then we're going to take the same antique wax and do the same exact thing to the crate. We're going to go ahead and paint this entire crate, inside, outside, every piece, bottom, all. Paint it up with the Waverly wax and then wipe it away with a paper towel. After that, we're going to take two of the little tumbling tower blocks and do the same exact thing. Paint with antique wax and wipe it off with a paper towel. Now I've got some antique wax there excess, and I just use that to distress my white right there rectangle. Now I've lost some footage of how I got those dowel rods in there. I just put a little dab of hot glue and just glued them right in the corners. Then we take our Jenga blocks or tumbling tower blocks. We glue those on the bottom just because I didn't want it to sit flat on the table. Next, I'm taking one of the new calendars and taking off the back and cutting this picture out with the pumpkins on it. We are going to glue that right in the middle of our rectangle there. We are making a little pumpkin stand. I just glue that on with my purple disappearing glue stick. So much easier than the Mod Podge for this small of a project. Then I take my antique wax, go around the edges, and then just smear it in with my finger, and then I go ahead and do that all over this white piece. I think this is my favorite project of everything in this video. I absolutely love how this one turned out. It is so adorable. Then we're going to take some of that Fix-All adhesive from the Dollar Tree and some hot glue, and we are just going to adhere our rectangle on there. That's our little sign. Take the piece of the picture frame. I just use hot glue and Fix-All adhesive, glue it to the rectangle there first on that flat piece. Some hot glue and secure it right there on the dowel rods. Next, I put some Fluorofoam inside of it, and we go ahead and use some hot glue and some Spanish moss. And now we're just basically filling this in with some of the little pick pumpkins that I got from the Dollar Tree. And then I also go in with some leaves that I found. This is totally up to you, however you want to decorate it. You'll see how mine is completely done at the end of this project. Then I just take some leaves and also put them in that little hole on the top there of the picture frame. After that, I go through and use some of the leaf lights that the Dollar Tree has, and I just start winding it around this thing, and I secure the battery pack on the back with just a little hot glue, just keeping it so that you can get to the batteries if you need to change them out. And that's it. Again, my favorite project of everything in this video. I absolutely love how this little thing turned out. Again, y'all let me know in the comments which was your favorite. So the first thing I do for this one is I went to Goodwill, y'all, this voiceover already, Big Lots, and got this package of apples, faux apples. And it had two big ones and a bunch of little small ones. So I'm going to take these two big ones out. I'm going to coat the bottom halves of these, both of them, in territorial beige, and I do 2 good coats of that color first. I am taking my time a little bit just because I want to make sure that some of that red is definitely showing. We are making caramel apples today. When I think of fall, I think of caramel and candy apples, and those are 2 of my most favorite things about fall. So 2 good coats of this territorial beige on both apples, again leaving some of that red exposed up at the top. Then we are going to take this nutmeg brown and do 1 good coat over the territorial beige on both of the apples. After these dry very well, we're going to take some of these quick oats that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to open the bag and pour some out on the plate. These are going to be our nuts for our faux caramel apples. Now I'm just going to take some Mod Podge, squirt it directly on the apple, and paint it in with my paintbrush. And at first I tried to roll the apple in the oats, and it just didn't get enough coverage. You'll see here in just a second. And I also learned to do this in sections instead of, like right here I did quite a bit, but later on I just go through and do little sections at a time, because then the oats stick so much better. You can see here now I'm seeing that they're not sticking very well like that, so I'm just going through and putting them on and tapping them off, and just like you would do glitter, y'all. And I do this for both apples. I leave a little bit of the brown exposed too. I don't have any rhyme or reason on the way I'm doing this. I'm just doing it to the way that I like how it looks, and that's what you can do too. Again, this is YouTube. We are here to give you inspiration, so you do you. But then after we get that done on both apples and we let that Mod Podge dry completely, we're going to go back in with some more of that nutmeg brown, and we're just going to start tapping it on our oats. Now what this does, it gives it a look of darker nuts, lighter nuts, because that's what these oats are representing on our caramel apples, is our nuts. So I absolutely love how this turned out. I've also heard of people using like reptile bedding or different things like that to use for the nuts. I couldn't find any of that, and I was not going to go buy a great big huge bag knowing that I probably won't use it again unless I'm making more of these faux apples. So I just settled for the quick oats. Then after that, I'm just going to take that stem right out, take a dowel rod from the Dollar Tree. I just broke it in half, cut the excess off with scissors, used my scissors and opened up that hole in the top of the apple just a little bit more, and stuck a dowel rod into each of the candy apples. And this is our stick for, or not candy apples, caramel apples. And this is our stick for our apples. Now we're just going to take some of this red and white gingham ribbon, again from the Dollar Tree, make two very simple shoestring bows, cut dovetails in them, and glue them both, one each, to each apple up towards the top. So when you all say caramel, do you say caramel or caramel? I'm from the South, we say caramel, but where we're at right now for the husband's job, every time I go through Starbucks, they correct me and say caramel. So how do you all say it? But anyway, such a simple project, and these are what they turned out like. I absolutely love them. I think they look so realistic. As a matter of fact, when I was done with this DIY, I definitely wanted a caramel apple. Let me know what you all think of these in the comments. Now I'm going to take 3 of these pumpkin cutouts. Sorry about the moving on the camera, y'all. And we're going to remove the little raffia there, and it leaves a little glue residue behind. And I just take my heat gun, heat it up, and wipe it off. And then we're going to take off the jute twine. We do this to all 3 of these. Now we're going to take that same muted green color, and we are just going to paint this entire pumpkin. We do go back and change some things up here in just a little while. We add some scrapbook paper on there, but for right now I just wanted to give all 3 of them a cohesive look, just to make sure the bases were all the same. So again, all 3 of these get done this way. Now we are going to take 3 of these leaf cutouts from the Dollar Tree, and we are going to paint them in a sheepskin color. I believe this is from Folk Art. It is a chalk paint, and I'm loving this color also. So we're going to paint all 3 of our little leaf cutouts out, or paint all those up. Y'all, it's still early in the morning. I've had no coffee yet. Sorry about that. Now that we've got those done, we're putting our leaves to the side to dry, and we are going to take a piece of scrapbook paper, and we are just going to run it along those places that are raised up, and then cut it out, and then we're just going to Mod Podge those right onto those 3 places. Now you can use the same scrapbook paper for all 3 pumpkins if you like. I wanted to change it up a little bit, so I went ahead and used 3 different pieces of scrapbook paper. But again, we're just cutting it out and Mod Podging it down. I'm going to show you one more time when I do that other little, or no, when I do the centerpiece, I think it is, how I get this. It's just so much easier to do it this way than to try and glue on a piece of paper and cut it out with the X-Acto knife. So I just stick my paper down on there and I go around it, and it leaves an indentation on the paper, and that's what makes it so easy. You've already got that shape on there. You just go back there, cut it out, and Mod Podge it on. Again, we do the same exact thing for all 3 pumpkins. I do use 3 different scrapbook pieces of paper, but if you don't want to do that, if you just want to use one to have a cohesive look, hey, it's your project. It's crafting, y'all. That's the beauty of crafting. We can take something that we've seen and make it our own. So now I've got all 3 done, and we are going to glue our pumpkins together like a topiary. Sorry, I can't say that word this morning. So I'm just taking one of the pumpkins, gluing it down at the bottom of the other pumpkin. We're going to do the same exact thing for our 3rd pumpkin. I'm just trying to figure out my placement and make sure I get everything as well as I can. Just glue that right down. I do want to tell you all that one thing I did that I did not capture on video, apparently. I did make a little decal for the leaves that says Happy Fall, y'all. You'll see that in the final reveal. Now we're just going to take our leaves. We are going to go ahead and glue those on. I kind of stagger them a little bit. I don't want them to be just straight up and down, so I kind of catty corner them a little bit, I guess. Now we're going to take those same little raffia bows that were on there. I thought they were totally cute, and we are just going to take those and glue them over the holes on all of the pumpkins, and that's it. Look how stinking cute this is. This cost me about $4, but I absolutely love it. And I just styled it by propping it up against my wall. So cute. Okay, y'all, here we are with another new DIY. And y'all know, excuse me, I've been putting gnomes in every one of my videos this past month. So we're going to go ahead and make another gnome. So we're going to take this home sign from the Dollar Tree. We take off the little shell, and then, of course, we remove the jute twine that's on there. Then we're going to take and paint this with 2 good coats of this Folk Art multi-surface paint. It's like a sheepskin color, I believe. And we're just going to paint 2 good coats all over the entire sign. Then we're going to put that to the side to dry. While that's drying, we're going to take this piece of styrofoam. It's getting harder for me to find things to use as noses for these gnomes, the bigger that I make them. But I found this little piece of styrofoam. We're just going to use it. So we're going to paint the top of it and all around the edges. And we're kind of pouncing in certain spots just so we can get that paint down into the rough surface of the floral styrofoam foam. Now we're going to take 2 of these Halloween trees. We're going to remove the base of both of these. This is going to become our gnome's beard. So what we're going to do after we remove that base is we're going to fluff it out to where all of the branches are going towards the front. So you've got a flat back. You saw there what I meant. I hope you saw that. You'll see in just a second. So now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to run hot glue down this entire tree. Then we're going to place it down. Then I just secure it some more with some more hot glue and some masking tape. Don't worry about this masking tape. You're not going to see it. But when that masking tape and that hot glue, when the hot glue dries with the masking tape on it, it just forms this bond that, y'all, it's a very thick bond, and these trees are not going anywhere. I promise. We do the same thing down towards the bottom, and now we're just going to fluff our little beard out a little bit more. It wasn't quite full enough for me yet. That's why we went ahead and used the other tree. If you want to stop at just 1 tree, that's fine, but I think the look of 2 is, it just makes the beard look a lot fuller on this gnome. So we're doing the exact same thing, running the hot glue down the back, gluing it down, and then just using some masking tape to go ahead and secure in different spaces. Now we're just figuring out where we want our nose, and I'm going to go ahead and do a seam, I guess, in this fabric that I picked up from the Dollar Tree. This is going to become our gnome's hat, and we're just folding it over on the back and then right back up on itself again, just to make kind of a seam on what will be his hat here. Now we're going to figure out exactly where we want our nose, We're just going to put hot glue on the back of that and glue it right to the trees. Now we're going to glue our hat to our nose, and that's giving it a little more security, just being glued to those trees. We go all the way around the nose and glue that down. I can't remember what we do next, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm losing it today. Okay, so now we are going to flip our piece over and we're going to start securing our hat to the back. We're just doing that with hot glue, just folding it right over to the back and pulling as we go to give it a pretty snug fit there on this. Next, I'm going to gather all of my material up at the top, use a zip tie and tie that off so we've got that little hangy piece on the side there, because I mean, I like the straight up and down hats, but I love the little hangy where they look kind of messy and, you know, on these gnomes. And then I'm just going to glue that fabric all together up towards the top because I hadn't done that before. Now we're going to take some leaves and just place them around on his beard, around his little nose. You can skip this step if you want. I liked the look of it, so that's why I did it. But again, y'all know I'm here for inspiration. Y'all see what I do and then make it your own. But don't forget to send me pictures, because starting next month, we're going to start highlighting a lot of our crafters that send me pictures after they redo a project. Now we're just going to make a tassel by wrapping some yarn around a piece of square wood from the Dollar Tree. I think I end up wrapping mine about 50 times. Then we're going to pull it off, scrunch it in the middle, and tie it together. Just tie it right there in the middle. And that's going to give us two ends. And what we're going to do from there, well, if I ever get this tied on there, what we're going to do from there is we're going to open up those two ends and take our scissors and put them right in the middle, and we're just going to cut those. Does that make sense? We're just making a little pom-pom here. So just put your scissors right in there and then cut, and that's going to make our little pom-pom effect. And you do that on either side of this yarn. Then we're going to go ahead and glue our pom-pom to our hat, and then we're going to use that excess. I'm just pulling some of my strings out there. Use that excess yarn and going to go ahead and tie it on also. Does that make sense? That way we have a little more security for our little pom-pom. I did go ahead and add a bow at the top of the hat also. I'm not sure if I show you that. I really cannot remember. But then we're going to take this Hello Autumn cutout from the Dollar Tree. We're going to paint this with some pumpkin chalk paint by Waverly. We're going to glue that right to the bottom of our little sign here. And then we're just going to take some more of those loose leaves and we're going to glue those around the bottom down there, just to give it a little, just to kind of tie the gnome in. And maybe like the leaves are falling. I don't know. Y'all know I always try to make up a story. But that's it, y'all. I love how he turned out. Let me know what you think about him in the comments. And also, do y'all like seeing the gnomes? I'm liking making them, but I'm kind of running out of ideas. So if y'all have any, make sure you send them to me. I hope you guys like him as much as I do. DIY number 1. So for this DIY, I take 2 rolls of mesh from the Hobby Lobby, and I'm cutting this into strips of about 12 inches, and I'm cutting 12 of each piece, 12 strips of each piece. That was hard to get out. And we're going to do this green and burlappy one, and then we're going to do 12 of the burlap and the white there. Now when I get this finished, I want to show you a trick that I've learned. If you will take your mesh and spray some hairspray on the ends, it will keep it from unraveling so much. So I just did this to all of my pieces on both sides and on each end. After we get that finished, we are going to take 3 different ribbons from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut these into about 8-inch strips, and I cut 12 of each of the ribbons. Now after I get this done, and what I'm doing is I'm just taking the one that I cut first and using it as a template on the other. And this is just me showing you another one of the ribbons. But there were 3 different of these main ribbons that I used in this DIY. After I get that done, I go ahead and cut dovetails in all of my ribbons. And then I'm just showing you some scrap ribbon here that I kind of throw in, not on every single piece, but on some of the pieces. Now, this is the easiest wreath I have ever made, and it is all because of this Bodabra. I learned this from Tammy over at the Rusted Willow. I'm going to link her page and her video showing this in the description box. Y'all make sure you go check her out. Easiest thing I've ever done. So what I do is I take a cable tie and I put it in the bottom of the Bodabra. Then I take a piece of my green mesh and just roll it up on itself, just kind of scrunch it up. A piece of this mesh, do the same exact thing, scrunch it up. We put those in the Bodabra. Now I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm going to start layering my ribbon in there. You can do this in any way that you want. I put one piece in, and then the next piece I kind of put at a catty corner angle, and the next one at another catty corner angle, just the opposite way. And then I can't remember, I think I throw in a couple pieces of, this other ribbon that I had, just ribbon that I already had cut up that I wanted to use. Y'all, again, the easiest wreath trick I have ever learned. I will be making more wreaths just for this reason, because it was so simple. So after I get all that on there, I'm just going to take the little piece that came with the Bodabra, press it down. Then you bring your cable tie up. You go ahead and feed that through, but do not pull it tight yet. When you get it all the way through, then you're going to take another of these cable ties and you're going to stick it in the opposite way in between your little poof there and your other cable tie. And that is because that is the piece you're going to use to secure the little poof to your wreath. Just pull that tight and set it to the side, and we'll do it again. So again, cable tie, mesh scrunched up together into the Bodabra. Another piece of mesh, scrunch it all up, stick it in the Bodabra, and then you start layering your ribbons. Now, I do 12 of these puffs. I do not put the extra ribbon in every single one, just every now and then I'll throw in that extra ribbon that I had. After you get it all in there, bring your cable tie up, pull it just a little bit, put another cable tie in the back, and then secure it all. So simple. Y'all make sure you go check Tammy out. She is amazing, and I am so thankful for her for this trick, because again, the easiest wreath I have ever made, and it's all because of the Bodabra. Now I will tell you, I'm using mesh from Hobby Lobby because the mesh from the Dollar Tree, I just couldn't get it to work. I don't know what the deal was, but it would unravel so much that it looked awful. So after we get all of our little poofs made, again, we're making 12 of these little poofs. Next, we're getting our 12-inch wreath ready. Now, we're going to take our poofs. We'll take and cut that first cable tie off. Zip tie, whatever these are called, y'all. I don't even know. But we'll cut that remaining piece off. Now we're going to stick it through the two slats, like between the bottom and the second and the top and the second. You could see more what I'm doing than I can explain it. And then we are just going to stick that in there, put it in, and just pull it tightly. This wreath has 6 sections, and each section is going to get 2 poofs. I'm not going to make you all watch me do every one of these things because, again, it's just a repetitive pattern. Just 2 poofs per section of the wreath. Now here we are on our last poof. We're going to cut that off. We're going to stick it in there and just secure it. Y'all, I was so excited to see Tammy's video and this. It's so easy. So then we're just going to cut off the remaining pieces. Now we're just going to fluff up. Just go around and fluff up your ribbon, your mesh, everything. Now I'm going to make a messy bow with my Bodabra. So I used the 3 main ribbons that I used in the wreath. I cut 2 pieces, about 8 inches of each. Stick my little zip tie in there. Again, just layer my ribbon. and then pull the zip tie up, secure it, and make sure that I leave a little bit of room so that I can put another zip tie on the back to secure to the wreath. I wish I'd have picked out different ribbons just because these do kind of blend in with the wreath, but I still absolutely love how this wreath turned out. It's the best wreath I have ever. After we get that done, we're taking this Hello Fall sign from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to drill 4 holes in it. 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom, both in the corners. And that's because I'm going to take this twine and we're going to run it through the top first and then the bottom, and that's going to be used to secure to our wreath. Then I just take it between all the little mesh and ribbon, get it to the back, and tie it on at the top and at the bottom. So simple. Next, let me see what I do next because I can't remember. Oh, next we're just going to attach our bow. Then I do attach a few little embellishments, just a scarecrow and some leaves. But that's it. I absolutely love how this wreath turned out. I've also already given it away to a friend, and she was simple one. We're taking 4 of these plaid cutouts, pumpkins. I had to think for a minute, and we're going to use those. We're not even going to mess with those. We're just going to add a little decal on them. But we're taking another piece of that wood from the Dollar Tree, and we are going to paint it an olive green color. Then we are going to take our decals that we made, and we're going to stick them on our pumpkins. I just spelled out the word fall. I did mess up the F and have to go back and redo that one. My transfer tape just stuck and would not come off and ripped my pumpkin there. So, but no big deal. I had an extra, thankfully. But we're just going to go through and put an F, an A, an L, and an L. And we are just alternating the black and the orange. After we get that finished, we're going to take 4 more of those wood blocks and we're going to glue them down on the bottom, on the back of each of the pumpkins. And these are going to be what holds them to our little piece of wood. Now we're setting them up the way we want them. I did not want them in a straight line, so I kind of staggered them, but y'all can do this any way you want. You know what I say. This is just for inspiration. You never have to do things exactly like I do. And if y'all ever recreate any of my projects, I would love to see them. You can message me or you can tag me on Instagram at Crafty Cove. So after we get all 4 of those glued on there, I still don't think it's enough. So I'm going to take some hot glue and some Spanish moss, and we are going to go all along the front with the Spanish moss. I say simple and then I add so many small elements. They're still really simple DIYs, but you know how you decorate things and the finishing touches that you put on them, in my opinion, are what makes your project. Now I'm taking these puffy leaf stickers that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to go ahead and use hot glue because I was afraid they would not stick with just that little adhesive. And I'm going to glue a couple of those on. And then there's a wood piece I glue on and part of a pine cone. And just decorate to your heart's content until you think it looks good. But that's it, y'all. That's all I did. And here is a picture of the final project. I love how this turned out and so cute. You can use a yardstick, which is what is actually recommended for this craft, but I did not have a yardstick and I was not by a Lowe's or anywhere where I could get one. So I went to the Dollar Tree and got these 2 pieces of wood that we're just going to glue together. And for this you need wood about the size of a yardstick, some mesh, some pipe cleaners, a pair of scissors, and a chip clip or clothespin. So the first thing we're going to do, since I don't have a yardstick, is we are just going to glue our 2 pieces of wood together. I'm using some Tite Bond glue and some hot glue. And this actually is like 22 inches, I believe. So it was the perfect size actually for my tablescape because of course, y'all know I'm in a hotel room. So here's what our piece looks like when it's glued together. That wood there, or that glue there in the middle, don't worry about it because it's not even going to show. So I have made me a little mark on my table showing me where 22 inches is, because that is what I am going to cut my mesh in, is 22-inch strips. I'm cutting off the end of this one just because it was a little frayed and I wanted a fresh piece. So I'm using 3 different colors. You can use whatever colors you want, however many you want. This is totally up to you. It does not have to be exactly like mine. But on this brown and white piece, I am cutting 6 pieces at 22 inches. Then I'm going to move to this green checked mesh. And on this green, you are also going to cut 6 pieces. I got my mesh from Michael's when it was on sale for like $5.99 a roll. So again, 6 pieces on the green. And on this orange, I am going to do, I believe it is 9 pieces at 22 inches. I just don't want to make you all watch me cut each and every piece. Now, this can also be, I'm using this as a centerpiece for my table, for my tablescape. But you can also make these to hang on your door. There's just a couple things that you would change to do that, just like a little wreath on your door. But again, I'm doing this for the tablescape video. So now we're going to take some pipe cleaners, and what we're going to do is at the end, we're going to come down about 1 inch to 2 inches, and we are going to twist a pipe cleaner on, and we're going to push that to the left side, right side, either one. And then right beside that, you are going to twist on another pipe cleaner, and you're going to push it to the other side. What we're doing is a pattern of 2, 1, 2, 1. You'll see as we go on. So then come down 1 to 2 inches again, twist 1 pipe cleaner, and leave that one just standing straight up. That is your one that you're going to do. Now I'm going to go ahead and go down to the other end because I want to try and get mine as even as possible. Down here again, we are going to twist 1, put it to the left or right side, take another, twist it on, and push it over to the opposite side. We're just basically making our form here. Now we're going to take 1, come down 1 inch or 2. These do not have to be exact measurements, y'all. If they were, I would be in trouble because you all know I do not measure at all. So then we do that. Now we're going back up to the other end and we're going to do 2 again. So we did our 2 and then our 1. Now we're going to do 2 again. Put 1 on, twist it, push it to either the right or the left, put another one on, do the exact same thing, twist it, and then push it to the opposite side. I do it this way, going from end to end, just to kind of make sure that I stay as even as I can on the ends, and then everything just meets in the middle. So on this side, now we are again doing our section with 2 in it. This is so simple, y'all, and it turns out absolutely beautiful. I am not a tablescape person. I've never really decorated a table, but I love how this turned out, and I'm going to make another one with a yardstick, I think, for my door at home, because I just love the way it turns out, and it's a different look. You know, it's something a little bit different. Now we are right in the middle of the board, and we do our 1 pipe cleaner. Okay. Now we're going to start with our mesh, and we've got these again cut in 22-inch pieces. What we're going to do is I'm going to start working down at the end. So I'm going to take a piece of my orange and I'm going to fold it over itself 2 or 3 times. Then I'm going to take my chip clip and clip it right there. Then we're going to turn it around, and we're going to do the same thing to the other end. Roll it up on itself 2 or 3 times. And the reason for that is it stops a lot of the fraying. Now, it's not perfect and there's still some fraying, but nothing like if you would not fold it up. And I guess that's the reason for actually making it 22 inches long. So on this side, after you fold it up 2 or 3 times, you're going to walk your fingers down your mesh. Same thing that we do like for our wreaths. just walk your fingers down your mesh all the way to the other side. When you get to the other side, bunch it all together, take your chip clip off, and there's your little poof. This first poof is going to go at the end on one of the 2 pipe cleaners. Doesn't matter which one. And all you're going to do is put it in there and twist it just a time or 2, because you're going to use that pipe cleaner again later to put a little bit of ribbon and some embellishments in there. So do not cut your pipe cleaners off yet. So there we've got our first poof. Now we're going to go on to our second poof, which is going to be right beside that orange. And I decided to do everything that has 2 pipe cleaners in the orange. The one pipe cleaner, each of the 1 pipe cleaners will get a piece of the brown and white and the green. I'll show you again here in just a few minutes how that's going to work. So again, we're just folding it over on itself 2 or 3 times, turning it to the other side, doing the same exact thing, folding it over on itself 2 or 3 times. Even with this Hobby Lobby mesh, it will fray. So this helps so much. Walk our fingers all the way up to the other end. Grab the other end and remove the chip clip, and there you have your poof. So this poof is going to go into the other pipe cleaner right next to the first poof. Now again, any colors, any combination, that's totally up to you. This is just for inspiration. Okay, now I'm going to speed it up and just let you watch me do these poofs all over this piece of board. Now again, this does not take very long. And you can see as I go how I'm doing each of the pipe cleaners. This is really a pretty quick process. The worst thing, not the worst, probably the longest thing about this entire project is cutting your mesh. That's it. And again, you make it your own. Use any colors you want, any design you want. It does not have to be exactly like this. So I'm just going to let you all watch how I do this for a few minutes, and then I'll come back and we'll discuss what we do after this. Okay, so here we are at the end. We are again doing our last 2 of the orange. Now, I got those in there. Now we're going to take some of this tulle that I got from the Dollar Tree just walk it up on itself and start sticking it in there. Y'all, I'm not showing you all of the embellishments I did, but I am going to show you the final project. That way you can, it's just for inspiration again. That way you can kind of figure out how you want to do things, where you want to put things, and all of that. I'm just going to show you how I actually finished mine, and I hope you enjoyed it. I do stick some ribbons in there, just all different things, and I hope you enjoyed this DIY. Make sure you let me know in the comments what you think about having this as a like a centerpiece for a table. I think it is just gorgeous. I stuck a little pumpkin there on top, some leaves, some florals, and y'all, I love it. I think it turned out absolutely beautiful. Again, make sure you let me know in the comments what you think. Thank y'all again for watching my favorite fall farmhouse DIYs from last year and this year. Don't forget our giveaway for a $20 Dollar Tree gift card by letting me know what your favorite season is down in the comments below. We will announce the winner of that on Friday, August 26th in our next video. Thanks for watching. Y'all mean so much to me. Y'all come back now. You hear?